Hey, train friends, welcome back to the Pittsburgh Industrial Railroad and the Horseshoe Curve. Sorry I was a little late getting onto the show today. I um, I was moving around a bunch of trains like usual and trying to make sure everything was running properly. Hope everybody's doing well today. Let me get my iPad hooked up here. Hopefully stay a little bit closer so you can hear me. Hang on just a second. Okay, here I'm finally in here. Okay, so I see Steam is King production with friends is here. Ants Train, Strictly Steam, Russell Coons, Old Ohio Angler, Patrick Ballmer. I'm not no, I'm not dead. No, I'm I'm fashionably late. Speaking of fashionably late, I have my PTF Designs engine shirt on here. If you want to order one of these, they're on my website. It's pghtrainfanatic.com. Um, Hopefully the stream on the phone is doing okay. The iPad, I'm not seeing anything on the iPad. So, anyways, from the title of the video, you can see we're gonna run some Pennsy engines today. So I have the B6 switcher on the track, the CC2, the M1A, and the SD40 dash. Well, the SD40. It's not a dash too. It's just an SD40. I think that's pretty much it. Oh, and the K4, 1361. I don't know if I mentioned that or not, but so yeah, it's gonna be fun. Everything should run smooth. These engines are pretty reliable. I know what I'm gonna get. Sometimes the B6 has given me problems on the inner loop from the little wired tether coming loose. I tried to make sure it was pushed in all the way real good this time, so we'll see how that does. And it goes through some 036 curves, so it's rated to do that, so it should be able to do that with no problem. So we'll test that out today. Um, a couple trains are in the yard, and I have to do some switching because I didn't have time to get them out onto the main line. So that'll be kind of part of the show. We can pull some trains out of the yard and get them hooked up to the engines, and then get everything running here. I was just kind of throwing stuff off the shelf real quick before the show started. So. Thanks for everybody who's joined into the show right now. I see D. Klinger, Jerry Esquino, Felix. Let's see. Who else is here? Oh, D. Lily. Hey, how you doing? Um, can you do a shave and a haircut whistle? Yeah, we'll do that. Oh, Matt's Trains is here too. Thanks, Matt. So uh, I think in my video preview for the show, I talked about some features of the show. I went over, we'll do a Q&A. Of course, I'll show you some of the building flats I have set up today, my PTF Designs flats. That was part of the other. There's also going to be another part. I'll get into that in a little bit later in the show. And then obviously running the trains. And if you guys have any questions, you feel free to ask any questions at any time. I try to watch the comments as we go along here. Devon McKenzie's here as well. Good afternoon. Russell Coons asked what happened to the layout at the end of the last live show. Okay, so I couldn't figure out what was wrong, and it actually was the CC2 that was derailed. I don't know why. I've never really had that engine derail over in the curve like that. I'm wondering if maybe I just tracked it up bad to begin with, and it just faulted over there and it was running bad the whole time. I don't know, but that was the issue. So and I figured it as soon as I ended the show the last time. I figured it out within like 30 seconds. I walked over there, I'm like, it's got to be that engine, and it was. So I'm not nothing major, so that's good news. Oh, that was another Nathaniel Lee. You touched on the MTH question. I was going to bring that up too, so we can kind of talk about that real quick. So I don't know why MTH is going out of business. I know that they're kind of sugarcoating it, I think, a little bit, in my personal opinion, with Mike saying he's going to retire. You don't build a company up for 40 years and just say you're closing the doors. That doesn't happen. You put your whole life into a company like that, you're gonna try to get something for it, and they obviously did, because they said one of the employees said they've been trying to sell the business for a year, so, and they haven't had a buyer. So that right there tells me that probably they're either they're in the negative, or they're just not making any money. So if the numbers don't jive, nobody's gonna buy it. They've been pumping tons of trains into the market for years. Like he said in that one letter, they've released more trains than any other manufacturer, and that is true. And I think that they flooded the market. When those catalogs came out, and there was train after train in those catalogs, I was thinking, like, who the heck's going to buy all these engines? And that's just my opinion. I think they flooded the market. I think they put a lot of investment into the trains, into the tooling, trying to build up that business, and I'm just not sure if that failed, and that's just a speculation. I have no idea. So it's unfortunate regardless, because obviously we're losing the manufacturer, but hopefully there's going to be somebody else that picks up the slack, some of the tolling, and they said that the MTH employees are going to keep the Proto Sound and the DCS service and the electronics going, which is that's great, because there's so many trains out there already from MTH. You can go to train stores. They have old trains in stock, Proto 2, Proto 3s. You can go on eBay all day long, and there's hundreds of engines on there all the time. Somebody's selling engines, somebody's selling off their entire collection. There's always something available, so you can always drop those electronics into old previous runs as well. So it's good that they're going to have that, at least. That's a good sign. So that's kind of my take on the whole thing. I don't know if it's true or not. Like I said, it's all speculation. I heard some rumors from friends that talked to some store owners, and they said that MTH was hurting. So, and like I said, I never knew if that was true or not. You never know what to believe, and I still don't know if it's true or not. So it's all hearsay until we know really how this plays out. So, and I just saw what Ant's Train said. Hopefully Lionel or Menards buys them, and I really hope so. I hope that somebody picks up part of that line. I think it'd be awesome if Menards picked up, say, like I mentioned in that other video. If you watched my video I posted earlier this week, if they picked up the Rail King line, that'd be awesome. Because then at least you'd have a core of trains there that are affordable and appeal to a wide variety of people. And even myself, I like having a Rail King engine here or there. So even though I run mostly scale stuff, so I think that'd be awesome. So things. Okay, sorry guys, I didn't know that we got disconnected. I wasn't looking at the phone on the tripod, and it wanted me to reconnect. I guess we lost signal there for a second. So I apologize. Sorry about that. I'm not sure where it cut me off, but we were talking about MTH trains, and basically I was saying that hopefully these these other companies absorb some of it, and things can keep going. I was talking about Menards absorbing the Rail King line. I think that'd be awesome. All right, so if you guys, like I said, if you guys have any other questions throughout the show, please reach out to me and ask them while we run the trains. And again, I apologize. I'm sorry. I don't know. I didn't realize the phone wasn't connected there for a minute or so. All right, so trying to set my tripod down over here behind my back. Hang on one second. There you go. All right, guys. All right. right, so here's the my PTF Designs building flats that I have set up today, and I have something new to show you, which is the large Heinz plant. It's slightly different than the previous runs. What I was doing before was I was carving the smokestacks, and I found I got a good image of the actual smokestacks from the Heinz factory, and I kind of like it. I kind of like it more. So they're actually separate flat pieces. They're built separate from the building flat itself. And as you can see, it has the LED lighting. And another thing I'm doing with this one is I'm wrapping the side a little bit with the vinyl. And this one's a bit thicker. It has like a channel back there where the smokestacks sit down inside. It's an inch deep. Most of the other ones, like here, you see they're a ½ inch deep. So that's the O scale large Heinz factory, and that's available on eBay and my website. The website's pghtrainfanatic.com, and on eBay I'm user pghtrainfanatic, so it's easy to remember. You can also email me at pghtrainfanatic@yahoo.com if you're interested in any of our building flats. We make them in all scales. These two are S scale, or otherwise known as American Flyer. So that's the animal feeds and the mail pouch barn. And you can see the edges are painted to match, and it's pretty cool. It blends them right into your backdrop. And then I also have this sitting here. This is our classic Freedom Firearms for Flag Day. I thought, because today is Flag Day, I thought, oh, I'll bring something out with a flag on it. So even though you guys have seen this many times, but this is also S scale. And yeah, so again, thanks to everybody who's shown interest in them and purchased some. And thanks for being patient while we work through our orders. We're very busy. And now I'm about 10 to 12 days back in order. So if you've ordered something, just be patient. It'll be coming to you soon. So again, here's the website and the info. They're printed on vinyl, and they're all scales. There's hundreds of buildings listed on my eBay store, and on the website as well. All right, guys. So let's talk about one thing here real quick. This is part of the other of the show. So recently I've been talking about doing new track in this room only. The Ross switches and Gargraves using for the straightaways. So it would be Ross curves as well. So I made a minor mistake when I was looking at Ross on their website. I swore I thought they made 060 curves. They do not make 060 curves. So you have to either choose between 054 or 064. Obviously there's other sizes, but for what I need, this is 060 right here. So I don't want to go down to 054 because my big engines, like the big boy and everything like that, are not going to work. So I came up with a plan, and this is what I'm thinking. So this curve, well, actually all the curves that are 060 on the layout are going to be 064. It's going to come down here, and 4 inches brings it out to about this area where the Winnebago's at. So this curve is going to be right here, this straight track. So we'll have a right hand switch right here, and then this track can continue with a switch here going to the Heinz factory and back into the coal mine, and then the other track can go across the bridge here to the yard. And then, so since the track will kind of be real close to the edge of the table here, we're going to have to move the bridge. So then I started thinking, well, if I'm going to be moving this bridge and doing all this stuff, why not buy a 2-track bridge and reuse this bridge somewhere else? So this is going to be a double main line now. So on the inner loop, we're gonna lose some mini scenes So there's going to be an 054 curve in here. We're going to lose this parking lot, train station, this mini train station here. I might be able to keep this section here if we can cut the track in here. I don't know. We'll see. It's going to be real close to the back of the Iron City Brewery right there. And then here's the beautiful part. It's going to link right up with the bump and go track. So that bump and go track will now be the inner loop. So, and I already have that bridge back there, so that's beautiful. So I don't have to do really much track work back there than just laying new track in. And that inner loop is going to, it's going to curve back into the main rim. It can't go into the horseshoe curve. There's not enough room for an inner loop in there. So I'm going to have that inner loop curving in. I'm going to see if I can get it to come out of this tunnel without having to cut into the mountain. So that's less work as well. So the inner loop should continue on this close side of the bridge over here through the tunnel, and then it'll be down into all the switches for the steel mill in this area. It's going to continue the same over on this side. One other issue over here that I've noticed, obviously, is doing 064 here is going to bring my track out to where there's no table. So we're going to have to build a little bump out section here so the track is wider. This is going to be 064. This is 048 currently. This will be 054 out, probably close to where this track's at, and that'll give me a nice area in the center here for my diesel shed facilities. The steam engine shed is going to stay where it's at. This water scene shouldn't be affected, and then the inner loop would continue to follow the outer loop right here. And instead of it going into that tunnel there, it's going to curve into this area. And this is where we're going to also lose some other scenery spots. So we're going to lose this parking area, the police car, and the mini park. But we're going to relocate this stuff. Lily made this mini park on her own. It's built on a separate piece of foam. So I can just lift it right out. And the tree and everything, it's all connected to it. So I could drop it in like back there, and Lily's happy. So she was concerned about her park, so it won't be a problem. So we're gonna have to do some bridge work, and it's gonna be a major overhaul to the layout. I'm looking forward to it. Something that I'm gonna try to get into fairly soon, and unfortunately I'm gonna have to work a little by little at it because obviously I'm building tons of building flats as well. So we might be down running trains for several months to get this all sorted out correctly, but we can do some live shows with the track laying and different things like that, how-to videos. So I've spoke enough about the track. Hopefully you guys followed me. Sorry for rambling on about it, but yeah, it's going to be pretty cool. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me. I see you guys were asking me, Philip and Patrick were asking about the flex track. So the Gargraves flex tracks I'm using just for the straightaways. So I don't know if I want to make my own curves. I don't know if it's going to turn out smooth enough. So I just don't trust myself to bend a curve that's that tight and have a nice smooth curve. So I'm just going to do the 064 and do this other idea, and I think it'll work out nice. And then the switches match up with it. Like I can buy 064 switches like for right here. And it's going to be pretty cool. So let's get the trains rolling and get to the best part of the show here, which is always that, seeing the trains roll. So got the Lionel Legacy 1361.
Dispatcher here. Do you copy? Over. Copy. Over. Please start her up and stand by for track orders. Roger that. Ready to move. Out.
So this is the, you guys saw these somewhat recently, the MTH Woodside of passenger cars with that really cool lighting. And so we'll get this train going just nice and slow to start out. And then over in the horseshoe curve, We can walk over the horseshoe curve now. I'll let that train just roll slow. Over here, here's the SD40. I got it hooked up with a trailer train. And then over in this room, we're walking into the curve. Sorry, my hand's a little shaky. I have the M1A sitting over here, right there, with the coal hoppers on it. And this engine is 67 in my remote, because it's engine cab number 6755. I grabbed, that's hilarious. So we should just roll with it. So this is the, I did this totally by accident. So we got the M1A with the Texas tender. I totally did that by accident because the tenders look the same. I'm like, why does that sound like the Texas? All right, well let's just roll with it. Look at the, oh man, that's tight. That's not gonna work. Oh boy, I'm gonna have to change that real quick. Oops. Hang on a second. M1A long haul tender. Yeah, that's exactly what it is, Matt. Hold on, sorry, I gotta go switch this. That's not gonna make it around the curves. See, I told you I was kind of like frantically running around here to get this working right. Hold on, I'll be right back. Okay, here we go. Now we got the right one. That's funny. All right. Okay. All fixed up, ready to roll. You can see why I accidentally mistook those tenders. They were sitting right next to each other on the shelf, too. All right, so we're ready to rock and roll here. That's more like it.
Dispatch, we are underway. Over. Roger that. Have a good run.
Yeah, this engine has an awesome whistle. Is absolutely right. One of the best, to be honest. For at least for Pennsy steam, I think it may be one of the best legacy Pennsylvania steam whistles. I think it may be the top one. I've never Northumberland. No, I don't know if I've ever been to Northumberland, PA. All right, so gotta get our K4 rolling. Sorry if I missed any of your questions. I was kind of obviously trying to get everything running here and fixing the tender issue. Hey Nathan, how you doing? Thanks for everybody for joining in today on Flag Day. It is Flag Day today. Our eagle fell over. Alright, so trying to make sure everything's rolling smoothly here. Here comes our K4. Lot lower decibel level on this tender. Still sounds great.
Are we clear through the junction? Over. Yes, you have a clear track. Over. Yes, sir. Making good time.
So if any of you are have been wanting to buy a Lionel Legacy 1361 K4, just so you know, heads up, I don't need one. I saw one that there was one on eBay right now. The guy's asking like $8.99 for it, which is a bit high, but pretty reasonable for a highly desirable engine. So add it to your watch list. Love those passenger cars. They're great. All right, so since we got these two trains on the main line running smooth, let's get our inner loop going. What I was going to do for the inner loop was I had the B6 switcher sitting there, but I didn't get a chance to get the Conrail off the inner loop. So I actually gotta bring it around the layout and get it off the layout. And I was gonna do an ore train with the B6, nice little short train for it to pull. So let's see here. Maybe we'll do this. Let's get the. We're gonna. This is gonna be dicey, but we're gonna have to put 3 trains on the main loop for a second. I forget which cab number the SD40 is. Should be number 60 maybe, or 41. $60. So I'm gonna start to back it up onto the main line here. The reason I need to get it out of the way because I got to put that Conrail in here. So let's just back it up out here, and I'm gonna have to slow things down with these other 2 trains. Yes, please, like Daylily said, hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. The channel is sitting real close to considering 10,000 subscriptions. So I think I'm at 8,100 and so. If we can get to 10,000, I'm doing a big train giveaway. So definitely subscribe to the channel so you can take part in that giveaway. I'd like to do it as soon as possible, so help me get there. All right, so actually I was able to back this out and not even slow anything down, which is great. Yeah, the SD40 was tight. You're right, Matt. That's why I'm every time I I do switching on this layout, it's like, man, I gotta change this around. Oh, check this out. Police car chasing the Shelby. Yeah. So, enough said. Hey, Clyde. Yeah, that Isley's flat car. That's an MTH flat car. Hey, Thomas. Thanks for joining today. If I saw that, yeah, you said that public delivery trackless a H10 on their website for $849. That's not a terrible price considering that's a really good engine. Police not defunding your city. No, police are on high alert here. Beautiful day in Toledo. Cool. Hope everybody's enjoying summer. Everybody's, healthy and good spirits. Here's our big flag for Flag Day. I left it up. All right, so now that that is gone over here in the yard, I got a nice big open yard area now. So I also had this boxcar train we could pull maybe later, a little bit later in the show if we want to switch things up. But I'm gonna pull out the ore train, and I'm gonna take it over for the B6 switcher here with this Union Railroad switcher. Oh, the volume's turned down real low. Steam kicks that you want me to do a shave and a haircut with the B6. I wasn't ignoring you, buddy. I'm just running the trains here, trying to keep everything going. Uh-oh. I got 3 trains running on that main loop, so I'm trying to keep an eye on that at the same time running this. Well, couplers missed. Close. We're missing by like a fraction of an inch here. Oops. All right, now we're good. There's a shave and a haircut for you. Here's another one when it goes around this bend. Just missing the corner of the wall there. So this should be interesting. Trying to sneak this ore train over there. I'm not sure how I'm gonna do that yet. All right, I got an idea. All right, here's what I'm gonna do. Let's start the B6 up. Thomas. Yeah, this is my basement. So we're running trains here. The layout is let's see, how big is the layout? 23 by 20. That includes the 2 or 3 foot train yard over there that we were just looking at a minute ago. All right, so what I'm doing is I'm moving the B6 up the switch a little bit, or up the line a little bit further. All right, that's good. That should be plenty. And then got the thanks for the compliment. Thanks to everybody who's watching and complimenting. I really appreciate it. I don't know how I'm gonna get this. I got this train coming here. So, and that train coming there. I don't know when I'm gonna get this ore train over to the inner loop. We're gonna have to slow everything down maybe for a second. While we're doing that, let's get the streetcar going here. This is an MTH streetcar. It's operated with the DCS command unit. So this is command control. This loop of track I have in here. You see, I'm doing it with the. All right, so that's running good. Okay, when the heck am I gonna get this ore train over there? Engineer's getting a little restless here, waiting for the main line to clear. It's a heavy traffic day here on the layout. All right, we're gonna fly this thing out of here right now. This is gonna be bad. We made it. All right, so now what I'm gonna do with this switcher is I'm gonna push these train cars the opposite direction. Here's our CC2. It's busy today on the layout for sure. Here, you want your shaving a haircut. Here comes the shaving a haircut. It's awfully close right there in that spot. So Thomas, this room is I would say it's about 18 feet from here to that back wall, and it's about 12 feet wide, maybe 11 or 12 feet wide. The horseshoe curve room is it's only about 8 feet wide. It's not very wide at all. Maybe 9 feet wide over there. So I may be off by a foot. All right, so let's so if you guys haven't picked up on my last shows, my switches aren't working, so I'm sitting here throwing my switches like literally by hand. So another reason why I want to change the track out. I just fed up with it. All right, so we're chasing the back of this coal train with the switcher. Oh, that was close. All right, so we're gonna. Whoops. All right, we'll leave our switcher right there for the time being. All right, now the next thing we gotta do is we need to hook the B6 up to the ore cars. Again, sorry guys if I missed any questions. So no, I didn't reset that main line. It just throws automatically. All right, so now we're gonna put the Conrail train into the yard, but we need to get this ore train out of my way. And that's gonna be pretty dicey too. That's actually gonna be more dicey than here's gonna be our shave and a haircut. Oh, that's gonna be close. I gotta go backwards with the SD70 Mac. Hopefully it fits. We're not. We're gonna have to. Actually, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna take the main line down to the down on a speed step here. So this is what I do when I run multiple trains. I go into my speed steps. See how I have the medium speed step right here? This is what all the trains are running at on the main line right now. That's how I know that pretty much everything's gonna work okay. So I'm just gonna take everything down to this first speed step. That's our K4 number 13. 67 is our M1A. So let's take that down. And then 60 was our SD40. So let's take that down to the first speed step. So now everything on the main line is running at the first speed step, which will give me some time to pull this conrail into the yard. We're going to do it after the M1A passes here. That's been sitting there since the last live show, that engine, the Conrail. Alright, so we're going to make it go backwards here. It's kind of a little bit, something a little different for the live show here, doing a lot of switching and moving some trains around. It's not really ideal because the switches aren't working properly for me, but you get the idea. Wyatt, you asked about this, me running the smoke. I don't run smoke because my wife's allergic to it, so I try to be a good husband and courteous and not cause her to have some crazy allergic reaction and die. So, and not that that's funny, but I kind of, you know, put like a funny twist on it, but you get the point. Anyways, I try to run the smoke usually like for a very short amount of time when I do videos, like the fancy videos for YouTube, when I do the you know, like the reviews and stuff. I'll tell you what, not running the smoke is okay because I hardly ever have any smoke issues anymore. I used to run the smoke a little bit more frequently in the past, and I had more smoke issues back then than ever. So now I really don't have smoke unit issues, and it's kind of nice. So it's like one less thing to worry about breaking. And it works if you turn it on. It's not like it's, you know, it's broken. All right, so let's get this. We got to get this conrail moving. The couch is definitely not comfortable. There's your shave and a haircut. Hopefully the engine doesn't smack it. Whoop, I slowed it down a little too much, sorry. Wow, this thing slowed down fast. He has a doghouse outside. Yeah. I tell you what, engines. Another thing, when I have run the smoke unit and in my Lionel engines for a very short amount of time, it doesn't really bother her. If I run, say, like an MTH smoke unit, even for just like a minute, it's so much worse than a Lionel smoke unit. Like just I don't know what it is, the way they burn. It makes a much worse smell. Stronger, I should say, not necessarily worse, but you know what I mean. I forgot to throw that switch. Alright, so we're getting this conrail out of the way. What I might have to do is, which actually was what I'm going to plan to do here, I'm going to throw the ore cars onto one track. We have to use our hand switcher here to do this job. Oops. We'll put the ore cars there. And then, how about we take our stone hoppers And we'll put these on this next track. I was pushing them too fast and derailed it. Okay, so that can go there, and then the train and the coal hoppers can fit on that outer track. That works. So this is something I probably would have done before doing the live show today. I just didn't get a chance to do all this, to be honest. And it takes time to move the trains around. And I always end up tracking the trains in here because my shelves are over this way where I keep the trains on the shelves. Oops, I forgot to throw the switch back. The SD70 does not have marker lights on it. Not on the rear or the front. Not sure if that's prototypical or not, but probably should have marker lights on it. But check out the I just always talk about this every time I run this engine, but the black vents and the fans and the black roof, it's just like, that's a unique feature of this Conrail engine. It's not on other Conrail engines. All right, so our yard is complete. So now we can get everything running back here to normal. And sorry if I missed any questions. Clyde said hump track action. Petey Hernandez, don't wreck like the Addams Family. That would be bad. Like caught on fire, I think, in that movie. All right, so I'm taking everything back up to the speed step 2. That's slow speed. All right, so there's my K4. The SD40. On the slow speed on that one. And then our M1A. Why it's... There it is, okay. There we go. So everything's back to running there, and then we can turn our B6 switcher on here and finally have it run. Hopefully it runs good. I gotta give my hand a break for a second here, guys. So let's keep the camera facing this way so we can catch some trains on both loops.
We are moving. Over.
Now we can kind of just sit back and enjoy the trains. Hey Mizu, thanks for joining me. So you guys were talking about NASCAR. I went to Michigan International. I think is that Michigan International Raceway? Is that what it's called? Last year, that was my first NASCAR race, and that was awesome. We even got to walk down on pit road and got close up to the cars. It was pretty fun. Definitely want to do that again. Sorry about the shaky camera. I was just picking it up off the tripod. So it looks like our B6 is running pretty good. Fingers crossed. P&M AWVR Railfan said it would be cool to have an AM road Silver Streak train. Yeah, that would be pretty cool. I have a silver, I forget what it's called, the Quicksilver, I think is what it's called. It was my first train set. It's somewhere down under the layout here, but it's an old conventional set from like the 80s. That'd be pretty cool to get out one day. It needs a little TLC. I think one of the motors are bad in it. I think it would be awesome is to have that thing refurbished and then put like a TMCC one of those ERR mini commanders in it, just with no sound or anything. Or maybe that actually would be kind of cool with sound and just running around this layout. That'd be awesome. I should do that. That's a good idea. The movie Silver Streak. I think I have seen it once, maybe, but I can't recall exactly what it's about right now. I should know this, but it's slightly a bit before my time. Everybody keeps saying, "Can I do a shave and a haircut with one of my engines?" So, Daylily, you're asked about the plans to buy from the current catalog. So what I might do is I saw that they had the Woodside passenger cars, like the one that the K4 is pulling around right now. I may pick up another set of those from the catalog. I may or may not. I don't know. I kind of like having just 3 as like a short train, because older trains, they didn't run like super long. I don't know. I may grab another pack of those. Union Pacific 833 asked how I clean my track. So mainly everywhere where I can reach by hand, I clean it by hand with just like a scouring pad. Sometimes I'll use like some. I've even used Windex before. It just kind of cleans the dirt off a little bit. I also have a track cleaning car somewhere. Not sure where it's at right now. I'm looking over here. I don't see it. Anyways, I have a track cleaning car somewhere, but it's okay. Fire Truck 25. How many engines can you run with the legacy remote? You could run up to basically 99 engines with this thing. So you could do engine 1 through 99. Although 99, you don't want to assign an engine to 99. 99 will control every engine on your layout. So, like literally, if you punch in 99, it'll start up, run every engine on your layout all at the same time. So basically 1 through 98. Now, could the layout handle 98 engines all at the same time? There's no way. You'd blow the breaker on it. P&M AWVR, is there an abandoned track? Yeah, there is an abandoned track. It is right over here. This is it here. So just kind of, oh no, Barry fell over. Remember last show, this guy fell over. He's okay this time. Now he's the one drinking on the job this time. Anyways, this is my abandoned track. This engine does run. It is MTH Proto 2. It's all weathered up and it looks like it's out of service sitting here on this track, which looks cool. And then this is like a shell. Uh-oh. There's a guy back here. Oh, he was on this porch on the engine. Anyways, that's like a Pennsy SD40 shell, like a Railfanning shell, I think. I threw that in there. I was gonna weather it and stuff, but didn't get a chance to do it. So, I guess you can kind of call that an abandoned track, sort of. There is also an abandoned track in the Horseshoe Curve. I can show you that one real quick. We could do a little rail fanning over there. Here's our B6 coming past the steel mill. It's running nice today. There's one of our sensor tracks right there. Here comes the M1A. We'll chase the M1A over the curve. I'll show you the abandoned track over there. I don't know if you guys ever realized it or not, but it's not very, very noticeable. All right, let's head over there now. All right, so here's the glitz inside of the mountain. Love the way that stone bridge turned out. I'd like to do something else like that on the layout somewhere. But we have our work cut out for us with that new track update that I'm working towards doing soon. So this is kind of an abandoned track. I kind of made it look like they chopped out sections of it and it came over to this old water tower, like if there would have been a switch over here. So that was my thinking, because the water tower I didn't have anywhere particularly for it, and I was like, oh, kind of make it look like it's this old abandoned track, hobo village. So you can see that, well, this shouldn't be there, but anyways, it just kind of looks like they chopped out sections of the track here, and it used to kind of curve over here somewhere. I actually thought about putting a switch in here, but this section of track is pretty short. This straight piece right here, it's about 10 inches, and these switches are longer than 10 inches. So, but I mean, really, you wouldn't be able to do much over here anyways. You would just, an engine would just pull in, and it would have to stop here because you can't make it go over the Lionel water tower. And actually, this water tower, to service the track, it should actually be the other way around, because the spout is back there, but it didn't make sense. I liked it this way for the scene, because back here you wouldn't be able to see like the guys floating in the water, and it just turned out better that way, particularly. Speaking of this, let me turn a little music on with it. There you go. Um, so I was kind of just looking back through some of the comments. PNM8 AWVR asked if I can make a custom train wreck. Actually, what I thought about doing, which would be kind of funny, would be to do like a fake, train wreck here at the curve, because there's been some train wrecks for real at the curve. So that was one idea. I don't really know if I'm gonna do like a actual train wreck scene. I have that tank car scene in the other room where the tank cars fell over. And then Philip, you mentioned, said, have I thought of a curved turnout to extend the siding right after the stone bridge? So, are you saying in this area right here to have a siding? Because I have thought of putting a siding in right there. I could actually probably move the MG tower back this way several inches, and it would just cut real close to that thing, and I could run it all the way up to here basically. But that wasn't. I had that idea. So if that's not what you were talking about, you said that about the gas station. So I left the legacy remote. Never leave your legacy remote. Always have it. Are you saying like in this area right here? Because there's really not much other room over here to have another switch. This table's very narrow right here. Yeah, I could probably put a curve switch in here. The only thing with that some people don't realize is, so if you try to drop a curved switch in the middle of a curve here, the beginning part of the switch is actually straight for a bit. So it would actually push the whole curve up that direction further. So I just don't know if it would work that well. But another thing I thought of doing was putting in a curved switch right here. So this would have like be my 072 continuing that way, and then having like 081 here, and then putting in a lift bridge and connecting over to this track. But I don't know. It's a very like narrow angle here. The whole coal mine would have to like go down that way further for this to curve in here correctly, and it's just really not ideal because it's very narrow in this spot anyways to begin with. So every time you walk in the room, you have to lift the bridge up just to get over to the horseshoe curve, and it just, I think it would get kind of annoying for what you would get out of it here to just be able to run a train back that way and reverse it. I can reverse the direction of the trains over here. So, Brooke, you asked me if at some point I'd be interested if you sent me one of the converter locos. Yeah, that'd be awesome if you could send me one of them. I would definitely do that. That'd be fun. So we could do like a full review, run it on the layout, run it around the curve. That'd be awesome. Email me, pghtrainfanatic@yahoo.com. Yes, T1. I need one like that, man. I saw your video. That was awesome. So if you guys didn't see, Brooke Bannister converted an MTH Premier, I believe, right? It was a Premier T1 duplex, and you took the legacy components out of a Lion Master T1 and put them into that engine, similar to what I did with mine. Except I did the ERR upgrade in mine. But yeah, he did a fantastic job on that. I saw the video where you were mentioning like the custom made parts, like that's amazing. You had to do all that. I couldn't have the patience to do that. So Daylily, can conventional be converted to Lion Chief? I don't see why not. That's actually a really good question. Like Bluetooth, that would be sick. Put like a Bluetooth, one of those Bluetooth Lion Chief sets into like a conventional engine. I'd be down for that. That'd be pretty cool. That'd be actually awesome on one of my old trains that I had from when I was a kid, so I could run it on the layout and run it with Bluetooth. That'd be awesome. Well, you got my my curiosity wondering here how to do that. That would be cool. Someone on Facebook did. I gotta look that up. I gotta see that. Now I'm wondering, that would be also cool, because you know what, another thing I wanted to do was I really wanted to have like a Lionel streetcar, so I could run it on my streetcar track in the city over there with like Bluetooth. I thought that'd be awesome. So okay, we'll have to look up that video. I'm gonna look it up later tonight. Thanks, guys. Thanks for that info. That's a great idea. So we'll probably run the trains for I'd say, at least another 10 minutes or so. Maybe slightly longer. Then we'll, if I don't catch you, if you have to leave early, thanks for watching the show and everything. Like I said, I'm not going to end the show now. I'm just catching it. Some people always duck out a little bit early. We're going to try to do live shows every Sunday at 3 p.m. for the foreseeable future. If something comes up and I can't do the show, oh, there was a nice spark there. That was weird. If something comes up and I can't do the show, I'll probably let you know. I'll try to post a video before the show, like confirming, like, yes, I'm doing a show on Sunday at 3 p.m. Some things come up and I have to work, or it just doesn't go with the schedule of the day. So, and next Sunday is Father's Day, so yeah, we're definitely gonna have a live show for Father's Day. That'll be fun. At least I'm pretty sure that I'll do it that day. I was just looking at the switch and seeing like why the engines are sparking up there. So, Daylily, you asked about how far along is PA on reopening. So actually, I'm on the western side of the state here in Pittsburgh. They reopened us about a week or so ago, 10 days. And the center, I think the central part of the state where Harrisburg's at is considered yellow. They turned us to green, and then I think the eastern side of the state where Philadelphia's at is still in the red. I don't know if somebody's watching from that area, but if you can comment and confirm. I'm pretty sure that's how everything's going so far. It just kind of goes from like green to red across the state. Union Pacific 833 says favorite and least favorite engine. Least favorite. That's a great question. So that's a really tough answer. My favorite locomotive, just in general, is the Pennsylvania T1 duplex. But for actual like models that I own, I tend to really like the 210-4 Texas, the Lionel Legacy. That's ranks up there as one of my favorites, even though it's not even Vision Line, but it has Vision Line-like features. As far as least favorite goes, I don't know. That's an odd question to try to figure out how to answer. Because if it was my least favorite, I probably sold it already. I guess if I had to pick one of my collection, it's my least favorite. I don't even know. That's a really tough question. Honestly, least favorite would probably be the Harry Potter Hogwarts set. And I say that for one reason. So I ran that engine. I bought it for my daughter Lily. It's a really nice engine. It has great sounds and everything, but it's rated for 036, but it derails on 036 curves. Don't know why. So the only time we run it is when we get it out here on the main layout. So we tried to run it on our winter layout that has 036 curves, and it just doesn't work at all. It's unfortunate, but so I guess that would make that my least favorite engine. Just for that one issue, that's kind of an odd thing when it's rated at 036 but can't run on a 036 curve. I saw somebody asked about the sensor track, so here's another one of my sensor tracks here. I am going to build the sensor tracks into the Gargraves track or Ross, whichever way it fits somehow. I have 4 of these sensors. I have one here on the inner loop, a second one on the inner loop over in this area. I try to put them by the crossing, like one by the crossing here. I put this one here because I had that 5-inch section right there of track already, so I just replaced it with the sensor track. And then the other one's over here, right there. So I saw somebody I've seen people on the forum take out the electronics, and they take out like these little sensors and the switches, and they mount it somehow onto like the wooden ties. I may try that with one. Worst case scenario, I mess up one and it doesn't work out, then maybe we'll just chop these off and just put them right into the Gargraves track and just ballast it, and you'll hardly be able to tell the difference. I'm not sure where I'm going to put them at yet. So this is going to be interesting in this area whenever there's a double main line. Oh no, Clark fell over. Yeah, we'll see if we can fix Clark here without knocking everybody else over. Steady hands. We need to get this thing propped up like this, like it really wrecked really good. tried to make it look like he wrecked, like he almost jumped it into the river. Kind of like that one scene from in the desert where he jumped it over. You'd be familiar with that, Daily, being out there in Phoenix, right? Another thing, we kept talking about the like the wrecked train scene. So this is my wrecked tanker, or overturned tanker. This is Lionel, but it's all custom done. I've talked about it, several times. But if you haven't seen it up close, here it is, weathered and built right into the scenery. And I changed the lighting around on it. The one thing that bothered me the most about this was the orange light flickered from the factory, and I made it steady. And then I added in, I forget which color I added in. I think I added white. I think these were only blue LEDs before. Now there's blue and white, and they kind of give the appearance of like welding or something. And we have those other welders in here. So another thing that I wasn't really going to talk about this, but I just thought about it, so we'll talk about it now for a second. When I redo my track in this area, I'm 99.99% sure that this engine shed will not be reused, and I'll miss it and everything. I hand made it myself. But I end up going with one of the Pros' engine houses. I purchased that kit. I have not constructed it yet. I'm going to do a video series on building that kit, so look for those videos to come pretty soon, actually, because I'd like to try to get it started and just do it little by little, because I don't have the time to sit down and do the whole entire kit. I'll do just like a little bit here and there when I have a bit of extra time. But the Pros, is, if you're not familiar with it, has the electronic doors that go up and down. Really nice kit. My buddy Darren, whose YouTube channel is Firehawk1218, turned me on to it. He purchased one and showed him building it. He actually he showed it to me when he was buying it. He's like, "You should buy one too." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'll wait for you to buy one and I'll check it out after you build it." And he built it, and I'm like, wow, that's awesome. I'm buying one. So I think it's going to go right here. It'll fit perfectly. It's a nice, perfect length for these two spurs. And the track's going to be similar in this area for that. So, if you guys have any last questions or comments, I'd love to hear them. Anything else, if you want to add about the closing of MTH, or just general questions about the layout? Run the trains here for a few more minutes and then sign off for this weekend. I got to get back to, as soon as I'm done here, I'm going to go upstairs and start building flats for people. Large shipment going out tomorrow. Yeah, hey Daily. Yeah, we had a nice run today with no problems. You're right, except for the M1A tender at the beginning of the I used the Texas tender. So P&M AWVR, we don't know what's replacing MTH yet. I'm personally hoping that it's Menards, because they do offer some trains at affordable pricing, and I hope they pick up some of the tolling and they start selling engines. I think that'd be smart if they did that. Like I mentioned before, the Rail King line, I thought that would be great. So somebody is going to pick up something of that company. It's not just going to go away. We may see a whole brand new brand come out that we've never even heard of before. Philip, I agree with you. I really hope that Lionel grabs that T1 tolling and the S1 duplex as well. I really want Lionel to make a legacy T1 and S1. Those are my top 2 engines I want for this layout. So please, Lionel, buy the tolling for those 2 engines. So again, I like Sid said, DCS and Proto Sound still lives on. I'm happy about that. So I'm sure a manufacturer will be offering those electronics in their trains, even if it's not an MTH train. And that's kind of cool. So who knows? Maybe we'll see like some third rail engines with those electronics in them or something. I don't know. Yeah, the S1 is you're right, Philip. It is one of the most beautiful steam engines. Both of those, the S1 and the T1, those are like amazing locomotives. Just that retro streamline is awesome. So, yeah, you think, Sid, do you think ERR will buy some of the tolling? Oh, and I saw Crossed Anchors Railroad said he enjoyed the running session. Thanks to everybody again for watching today. I appreciate it. I hope I don't sound like I'm yelling into the camera. I feel like sometimes I'm yelling into the camera whenever we're doing the trains here because they're so loud. Oh, yeah. I see what you're saying. Yeah, MTH electronics will become like ERR. You're right. You'll be able to purchase them and put them in any engine you want with like a kit and instructions. So, and then also replacing your current MTH roster that breaks down, which we all know that happens sometimes, and just replacing them with new electronics. Everything did run really nice and smooth today, so I'm very pleased with the layout today. Last I think it was on Monday, I did that live show since I couldn't do it Sunday last week, and it was frustrating that day. I had a lot of problems, so I apologize if I seemed a little bit bummed out. I wanted everything to run good. Atlas O's on life support in old Ohio Angler's opinion. That could be true. You never know. A lot of places are hurting right now, so. Oh, so Crossed Anchors Railroad, you asked about this PRR tower. I know this thing is awesome. So this is a Harry Heike water tower, and I bought it just the way it is here. I bought this at York a few years back. I purchased it from him personally. I met him, and I said I want this definitely now. I bought it right on the spot. He was like, okay, cool. So it's got the flashing light on top. It's pretty nice, and there's these really, really fine wires here. Oh, the camera's not focusing on it. It's got the ladder in the back. So yeah, it's a pretty cool water tower. I think it was $110, which is an amazing deal. So Randy, I meant to mention what you just brought up about this mainline bridge replacing the yard access bridge. Here's the issue with it. Hold on, I'm grabbing my roller because I can't recall. Oh, hey, there's my PTF Designs building flats, by the way. hint, hint. So this bridge is 24 inches long. Okay. This bridge is 30 inches long. So if I stick a 30-inch bridge over here, it would come to here where my fingers are at, right at the front of that switch. And the problem with that is the engines, when they come around this curve, because this is going to have to stay at 036 because everything's kind of tight right here. They could bang into the bridge. Actually, because when I first started building this, I had this bridge here, and I figured it out real fast that the trains were smashing this pillar here. So I was like, all right, I got to move it this way. So I moved it this way as far as I could, and then I had to also be able to have the trains miss it going that way. So this bridge is it may be a goner, to be honest, because it's low. About doing here was I was thinking about taking it out and putting in a girder bridge with like the steel beams are kind of like below the track, and the track's like everything's at level, so like it'll have clearance over top of it. And the reason I'm also thinking that is because when this track comes out to here, and that 064 switch is coming off for this yard, this switch is probably going to have to move down this direction further, because it's going to be, I don't know how it's going to land. I haven't figured it out yet, but if this switch has to be moved down, I'll have the room to do it, because see how there's like a straight piece of track and then it curves in. So it might have to go like on the actual girder bridge itself. So I'm going to have a girder bridge with a switch on it. It would be kind of a weird looking girder bridge, or just, build the table out a little bit more, make this water scene slightly smaller. So another how-to video, by the way, that I'm going to do is how to make these stone bricks. These are all scratch built. So that actually would be a good video to make somewhat soon, because I could do that pretty relatively quick and easy, like, and show you guys how I do that. And I did them over here too. I did it there, and then over here for the pillars of this bridge. You can see it. They're on the other. I put them under the under this bridge too. So maybe we'll bring everything to a halt here. Just kind of quiet the layout down and wind it down here and say our goodbyes. If you guys had any very last minute questions or anything. So I appreciate all the nice compliments, guys, and like Randy Jacobs said about taking our minds off of all this the other crap happening is definitely true, brother. That's for sure. So trains are definitely therapeutic. Brian, I do not have an Amtrak train. That was something I've thought about adding in the future. Just wasn't on the tops of my list of engines to pick up. Things I want right now, I really want another Norfolk Southern SD40 Lionel's coming out with the SD38 pretty soon, so I'm probably going to get a Lionel SD38 Norfolk Southern paint scheme. That's kind of one thing I kind of have my eyes set on in the near future. So just so you guys kind of know where my mind's at with what my next train purchase might be. But other than that, I appreciate you guys. I was trying to read it. If there's anything I missed here. Sorry. Yeah, the time does fly through these live sessions. You're right. So, Nickel Floyd Railway Studios. Just catch the rerun if you missed the you missed some of the B6. We had the B6 running for, I'd say, like halfway through and on. So the B6 was running. Just catch the rerun, buddy. I appreciate you watching and commenting and liking and everything. And everybody. AC Jefferson, you asked how long did it take me to build this layout. The layout was started in December of 2009. This main room we're looking at here, I completed it for the most part around 2012-ish, give or take. And then I added on the horseshoe curve, which is the room next door. I don't know if you've got to see that or not, but so this layout goes through two different rooms, and I did the horseshoe curve, finished it sometime in that year, I think, as well, or maybe 2013. And then since that point, I've been making upgrades. Like I upgraded this bridge. I rebuilt this bridge a second time and added on details. That was, and then the stone bridge in there. That was one of my more recent layout updates. Was I did the bridges, I called it. I did some other upgrades, like I added on the train yard that was over here, and just little things that I kept adding to the layout, like the Menards power plant back there, and then when I added that, I had to reroute my high tension wires. There's actual wires running on the layout, so I painted a pretend high tension tower on the wall with the red LED light on it, and I put the wires going from there back to the MTH tower, and then they kind of come across this way and connect into these MTH towers, and then again over to this wall. And then this was like a bridge building flat type thing I made. I cut it out of black foam board, and they can see I tried to make it look like there's little rivets in it. I just wanted to have some kind of extra little detail here, and make it look like there was a bridge coming this way, and there may be a low-lying road in here that kind of connects back into that little town area. Oh, you guys think about this idea real quick. I'll run it past you. When I redo the layout, I was thinking about kind of changing some things back in this area. So when I redo the track, I should say, I'm thinking about maybe moving this brown building down that way a bit, and where this box is on the wall here that's kind of protrudes out, and I try to hide it. See about making a mountain curve around it with a sheer rock face right there where the track runs next to it, and just kind of put a bunch of trees around it, make it a little bit of scenery right there. What do you guys think, or do you like it the way it is now with that building wrapped around that to kind of make it look like the building is in that area? So I also thought about putting one of my building flats that I make up in this area, and even potentially one or two over there to kind of make that little town look larger. So that may be my ideas here. I might use some of my own building flats in this area here, and then the rock face there. So yeah, I think that might be cool, and then kind of get some more of those stone retaining walls, and build them into it. Somehow I'm trying to keep that Lionel little warehouse back there. So no problems for being late, Sparky. Thanks for joining in. So anyways, guys, I'm getting ready to sign off now. If you did join us late, no worries, just watch the rerun. we had a good running session today. Not too many, or hardly any hiccups really, except for the except for when I put the wrong tender on the M1A, which was pretty comical. So again, thanks for watching. Be sure to if you're not busy next week, I'm gonna try to do a live show for Father's Day at the same time, 3 p.m. Unless plans change, I'll let you know. So again, guys, thanks for watching. Good luck to Sparky on laying track on your main level. I'll be looking for your layout update soon, buddy, and everybody else's videos. So I try to watch what everybody else is doing too. I really enjoy the hobby as much as you guys do. So thanks again for watching today, commenting, liking, subscribing. I'll say goodbye. See you guys. See you next week. Talk to you later.